Hello and welcome to the MCQ lecture series. In today's class, I'll talk about some of the important multiple choice questions with respect to Financial System 2, which is the Economics General paper for SYBA. So let's get started. Again, these questions are from chapter 1, which is on the Reserve Bank of India. The first question is, which of the following are quantitative tools or instruments of monetary policy? Quantitative tools or instruments of monetary policy, and the underlying options are A, CRR or cash reserve ratio, B, OMOs or open market operations, C, repo rate, and D, all of the above. So here, which of the following are quantitative tools? All these three things, that is CRR, OMOs as well as repo rate, are quantitative tools or instruments of monetary policy, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer. I have covered all these things in my previous lecture. The link for the same will be given in the description, so you can check what does CRR means, OMOs or open market operations particularly means, repo, reverse repo, and things like that. Okay, so anyways, the correct answer to this question, which is quantitative tools, is all of the above. That means cash reserve ratio, open market operations, as well as repo rate. I hope this is clear. Let us now move to the next question. The next question is, the qualitative instruments or tools of monetary policy are. Here I was concerned with quantitative, here I am looking at qualitative. Okay, so the qualitative instruments or tools of monetary policy are dash, and the underlying options are A, moral suasion, B, direct action, C, credit controls, and D, all of the above. So here again, all these three things, that is moral suasion, direct action, as well as credit controls, are in a sense the qualitative instruments or tools of monetary policy in India, and therefore all of the above is the correct answer to this particular question, meaning thereby moral suasion, direct actions, as well as credit controls are all qualitative tools or instruments of monetary policy. I hope the quantitative and qualitative tools of monetary policy are pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next one. The next is, the quantitative tools or instruments are also called as what? The quantitative tools are also alternatively known as what? And the underlying options are A, general tools, B, selective tools, C, good tools, and D, bad tools. So here the quantitative tools or instruments are popularly called as the general tools, or alternatively called as the general tools. Okay, quantitative tools are general tools. Okay, I hope this question is clear. The next obvious question would be, then what do you call qualitative instruments or tools? And the question is framed in this fashion: the qualitative tools are also known as what? And the underlying options are A, general tools. Now it cannot be general tools because the quantitative tools or instruments are called as general tools. B, selective tools, C, vague tools, and D, none of the above. So here the correct answer is, whenever it is qualitative tools or instruments, it is the selective tools. It is also alternatively called as selective tools, and therefore option B, selective tools, is the correct answer to this question. I hope the alternative names of quantitative as well as qualitative is pretty much clear. In quantitative it is general, in qualitative it is selective tools. I hope the questions are clear. Let us now move to the next one, very important question. Dash refers to the purchase and or sale of short-term and long-term securities by the Reserve Bank of India. Dash refers to the purchase and or sale of short-term and long-term securities by the Reserve Bank of India, whether you call it A, open market operations, B, cash control policy, C, bank rate, and D, none of the above. So here the clear-cut answer is open market operations, or OMOs. OMOs refers to the purchase and or sale of long-term as well as short-term securities by the Reserve Bank of India, and therefore option A, open market operations or OMOs, is the correct answer to this question. I hope the question is clear. Let us now move to the next one. The next one is in a sense talking about what do the Reserve Bank of India do in cases like inflation or recession per se, and this question is explicitly talking about inflation. So let us look at it. The RBI dash VRR during inflation to reduce the purchasing power and creation of credit. Now this VRR consists of two important things. One is called as the CRR or cash reserve ratio, and the other is called as statutory liquidity ratio. Okay, so and this is VRR means variation in reserve ratios. So anyways, in this fashion, let us look at what is the possible thing which the Reserve Bank of India is going to do in case of inflation to reduce the purchasing power and creation of credit, whether it is going to increase the VRR, whether it is going to decrease the VRR, whether it is going to keep it unchanged, or none of the above. So here, variation in reserve ratios, what is going to happen is variation in terms of these two important things which are components of VRR, that means CRR and SLR. What the government is going to do to reduce the purchasing power and creation of credit in terms of inflation, it is always going to increase the VRR, that means SLR and CRR will be increased in order to curb inflationary pressures, okay, in such a fashion that it will reduce the purchasing power and also the creation of credit. That means you are going to suck in the liquidity, okay. You means the Reserve Bank of India per se. Yeah, I hope this question is clear. Now the next obvious question is what will happen to VRR in terms of recessions or depression, and the question is framed in this fashion: the Reserve Bank of India during recessions or depressions dash VRR, making more cash reserves available for credit expansion. That means now I have to make sure that I pull in more money in the economy per se, so that there is incentives for creation of cash or availability of cash for credit expansion. So what will happen during recessions or depression, whether I will increase the VRR, decrease the VRR, leave it unchanged, or none of the above? So in this case I will decrease it. That means CRR and SLR will be decreased, banks will have more money, and then hence more credit creation will follow, okay. So here option B, decrease VRR, is the correct answer. So I hope both these cases are pretty much clear. What is happening to VRR during inflation? It is getting increased so that they can reduce the purchasing power and creation of credit. In case of recession or depression, the VRR is being decreased so that more cash reserves are available for credit creation, okay. So I hope both these cases are pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next one, which talks about the limitations of quantitative tools. Quantitative tools are also called as general tools, okay, or instruments. And what are the limitations? Let us look at the options. A, insensitivity of investments. B, conflicting effects per se. Conflicting effects. Then we have indiscriminatory sort of tools, that is these quantitative tools are indiscriminatory, and then all of the above. So here the limitations of quantitative tools or general tools of monetary policy are all these three things. That means insensitivity of investment, conflicting effects it has, as well as it is indiscriminatory in some sense, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope the question is clear. Let us now move to the next one. The qualitative tools have which of the following limitations? These were the limitations of quantitative or general tools. What are the limitations of qualitative or selective tools? Let us look at the underlying options. A, NBFCs are not covered under these. Difficult to control the ultimate use of credit. C is commercial banks may manipulate their accounts in relation to qualitative tools being used, and D, all of the above. So here again we see that all these three important things, that is NBFCs are not covered, difficult to control where the ultimate use of credit is going to, and also commercial banks may manipulate their accounts, relates to the limitations of qualitative tools or selective tools, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope the question is clear. Let us now move to the last question in this segment, and the question is, which of the following are limitations of open market operations? We have seen what open market operations means in the question number 5. It refers to the sale and or purchase of short-term as well as long-term securities by the Reserve Bank of India. So what are the limitations to this OMOs? The underlying options are lack of well-developed securities market in India. Second is attitude of the investors. Third is less effective during inflations, and last is all of the above. So here, which of the following are limitations of open market operations? These all three things are in a sense talking about the limitations. That means it is less effective during inflations, the attitude of the investors do matter, and also lack of well developed securities market in India per se. So I hope the question is pretty much clear. Hence the correct answer here is option D, that means all of the above. I hope this exercise is adding up to your knowledge and in a sense giving you some practice questions with respect to the MCQ format which the SPPU is following. So please stay tuned for more. Thank you.